Welcome to episode 3 of Open Bruza. Very lucky to have this fella join us tonight. This man, he's kicked 315 goals, played 76 senior games for Tathra, played in premierships. He's a 100 goal kicker, 100 goals in the 1988 year actually when they won their first premiership. We'd like to, well, he's better known than as Dino. We'd like to welcome Dean Carroll. Nice to have you on board, mate.
Thank you, mate. Thanks very much.
First, mate, we won't fast forward too quickly into the Tathra time, but we'll try and get a bit of the early stuff out of the way. We grew up, mate, down in Melbourne, played footy down there up until about 16, 17. Is that about right? And where'd you grow up and who'd you play with and that sort of stuff?
Played on my junior footy over at Bulleen Templestowe, over in the eastern sort of side of Melbourne, which was affiliated with Fitzroy and Collingwood back in those days. So, as a quite a young fella, I was able to play with a lot of boys that actually went on and played senior football, senior VFL football. Some pretty famous sons of Collingwood and Fitzroy players, and a bit of success. I remember playing against Paul Roos as a 15-year-old, and Roosy was about 6'1", 6'2", and we were about 5'0", 15-year-olds. And then sort of moved on from Bulleen Temp to play with the school. The school I went to, Trinity, and played through their first 18, and then into the old boy system, the amateurs.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you've obviously, I've got to know you over the last 10 years of being at Tathra. You seem to have a love for the game, obviously a love for Tathra, but was that like that when you were a kid, when you were growing up? Did you have parents or family that sort of got you involved in footy early and then you just loved it? Like I know you're a massive Carlton fan like yourself, but did you follow the Blues early days and just got on board and then it just started from there?
Yeah, I think mum and dad were taking me to the football when I was about 5 years of age. I can remember getting my first grand final was 1969 when Richmond beat Carroll. I can remember 1968 when we beat Essendon by 3 points, and going to meet Dad and Mum after that game. I remember taking me to meet Mum and Dad. So and we'd go to the footy every single Saturday to Princes Park with Mum and Dad, and then Dad and I would go to the away games down to Geelong, Footscray, didn't matter, Collingwood, it didn't, every week. Yeah. And that went on, all through, all those early teenage years, and then, 17, 18, and I'd go off with mates, we'd catch the trains and trams around Melbourne to the old suburban footy grounds. And it was, that was quite an experience,
All right, well, we'll fast forward a little bit. So you've given me a little bit of background on how you ended up at Tathra. You obviously be able to shed a bit more light on that. So you obviously went travelling, solo, or did you meet someone by that stage?
No, with my girlfriend, Anne-Marie, who's now my wife of 31 years. So we were just travelling around Australia, and ended up in a place called Carroll, over in northeast Victoria, the head of the Murray River, and Anne-Marie had a girlfriend there she was living with a bloke who turned out to be Steve Slippers Brown, who was the coach in 1988, and he asked me to come across when he got the job coaching. He said, "Would you like to come across to Tathra?" And we were going to start. I loved Carroll and was quite happy to stay there and play with Carroll and make a home for ourselves there. Yeah. And Anne-Marie said, "Well, you can do that by yourself." When Tathra came up, she was pretty keen. But
can you get on the coast?
So we come across, and I can still remember being over at Steve's house one night, and the phone rings, and he's off talking to this bloke, and I can hear him, and yes, and I go, "Who's that?" And he said, "Oh, this bloke called the Frog. He's over at Tathra, who wants me to come across and coach footy." So and that's how it happened. So I came across on Slippers' coattails.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So first season at Tathra was
88.
So 88. So obviously massive year for the footy club. You've walked in as one of the new recruits. You've just waltzed in. You've kicked 100 goals in a premiership season, first premiership for the club. That must have been a pretty awesome feeling.
Yeah, it was a great year. It sort of things came together. the club had been building previous years, you know, and they had a little bit of a nucleus of the side, you know, some good footballers, Jeff Harrops and these people that have played some really good footy. A couple of raw-boned local boys, Billy Caddy, Billy Russell, Mark Ferguson and the likes, and then Slippers came across, and then a couple of weeks later, after we'd arrived, a bloke called Murray Snyder rocked up training one night, and Murray ended up being a coach and captain of Tathra, pretty handy footballer. So everything was coming together, and it was good fun. And pre-season we lost our ruckman on a Tuesday night. He had to go to work across in Albury. Anyway, we're having a beer at the pub on a Thursday night, and the barmaid came down to the bottom bar. We always have a beer after training on a Thursday nights back in those days at the old Tathra pub, and she said there's a big fella upstairs that reckons he can play a bit of football. So I can remember going up there with Frog, and it turned out to be Big Pete McDonald.
Yep.
So Pete was a dual premiership player and still a good mate of mine, and his sons have both played junior footy and senior footy with Tathra.
Yeah, cool. So back then, obviously, the comp was in vastly different shape than it is now. Obviously, it's dropped off a little bit as far as participation goes and that. But obviously, having a 10-team comp back then, you know, you were going as far as down to Cairn River, out to Wyndham. Obviously, the northern teams, Narooma and Bateman's Bay. It would have been a real Victorian feel when you came in. It wouldn't have been much different, would it?
Yeah, it was pretty strong. Each team, for whatever reason, each team seemed to have a whole heap of Victorian guys that had come for that sea change, or whatever you like to call it, at that particular era, and each side was stacked with some really good footballers who just sort of travelled to the coast and were here for, you know, a year or two, or a couple of boys are still here from those days we played against all those years ago. So yeah, each side had some very talented footballers.
Yeah.
It was quite, you know, a 10-team comp was quite strong.
Yeah, and so then as a couple of seasons went on, you mentioned to me about missing some games with injury. I mean, obviously 76 games for a player of your standard and someone that's achieved so much, that sort of seems like a pretty low number of games to me. Like I would have thought, you know, someone that's won a couple of flags, you know, kicking 100 goals, that sort of thing would forge out a pretty long career. Obviously, you mentioned with your back and work and stuff like that, you got cut down with injury, and then you came back and played a couple of years in the Resis to help out with numbers when Resis were struggling a little bit. What was that like? Was it a bit of a bitter feeling? Like obviously seeing a lot of your premiership teammates go on and probably play 100 games and winning a few more flags and stuff, it would have been pretty tough.
I was getting really slow.
Yeah.
I missed 1990 because the back was no good at all. But we still were involved with the footy club during that year. And then we got to the end of 92, and you know, and I was in 33 or something like that, whatever it was. And I was a little bit slow. It was probably time to sort of hang them up. We'd started a family and business and that sort of stuff, and my good mate Kevin May had sort of taken over the mantle as the number one man, and it was just time for me to sail in the distance.
So you talk about Kevo, obviously he came in 91, so it's a bit of a mirror image of how you sort of walked in. You sort of came a couple of years earlier in a premiership year as a forward, kicks 100 goals. He comes in 91, I think he might have kicked 99, or I think he kicked 99 a couple of years in a row anyway. But obviously comes in as the sharpshooter, kicks the big bags, obviously won a premiership in his first year, and then obviously you guys have ended up fantastic mates, living next door to each other, all that sort of stuff. So what sort of impact did he have when he came? I know you know him really
huge,
well, and coming from Gippsland, he would have brought a bit of knowledge. I know his dad was a great footballer down there, and he would have brought a bit of knowledge and a bit of spark to the club.
Absolutely. He brought in, apart from his football ability, which was really strong, Kevin's probably one of the better marks that we've seen around this competition. He brought a sense of professionalism into the club. You know, with his experience at Traralgon and the history that club has got, he introduced things that the Traralgon Football Club, what he'd seen through his football career into Tathra. Yeah. And so his influence on this football club's been great, not just on the field but off it.
Yeah. All right. So we're getting a bit closer to the end. I don't want to hold you for too long, but. Just a couple of other things that I want to touch on. Women's footy. Obviously, you are an older, traditional sort of guy that have played in the 80s and would never have ever been thought about women's footy. But obviously, we've seen it come on, obviously on TV and come into Tartha and what it's done to this footy club as far as participation, getting more families and that family feel, that sort of thing. What's your take on the women's footy? You'd be that sort of person that I reckon would wrap your arms around and go,
I actually love it, and I can see what it's done to our football club here. I think it's been fantastic. The probably two proudest moments I've ever had in footy was I remember taking our eldest girl Madison up to Canberra to represent Tartha as an 11 or 12-year-old. She had her own changing room because she was the only girl back in those days. Mm-hmm. And then when Molly played with the Sea Eagles here for those couple of years, that was just it was just a fantastic feeling.
I think she wore the number 5 too. I think
she did. Yeah, she did, and it was great. I can remember running the water. For the girls, and apparently I ran the water to Molly about 400 times.
Bit exciting.
A couple of little tips.
Nah, that's good.
Yeah.
All right, so a couple of bit of word association to nearly pretty much to finish off. One word answers I need. I did talk to Goyder in my last show, and I said to him that the one word answers we struggled a bit with frog. But I don't mind if you elaborate a little bit, but frog would tend to go on a little bit, but as much as that could be annoying for some, I love listening to frog talk about footy. We could listen all day long. But so I'm going to mention a few things, and if you can get away with a one word answer, we'll go with that. 1988 Premiership.
Fantastic. Fun.
Kevin May.
The ultimate clubman.
The Tartha Footy Club.
Just a great place to be around for a long time.
Toughest opponent.
Peter Ferguson from Pandula.
The Carlton Footy Club.
We'll be back on top very soon, mate. I know that's more than one word.
All right, mate. So that's about it. Mate, it's been great to catch up. We love your passion around the footy club. I know that you struggle to get here on match day all the time, obviously with your golf and all the other stuff going on, and obviously been working away. But we know that every opportunity that you get to put your work boots on and get down here and help us out in any way, hanging pictures and helping out wherever you can. Obviously with the women's footy and stuff, it's much appreciated. We love it when you come down for a beer on Thursday nights, and like I said, myself and guys like Dino, the cameraman, love sitting around listening to the old yarns, and hopefully we can make a few memories of our own and hopefully say the same with our kids. So, mate, you lead by example. We love what you bring to the table, and thanks for joining us today.
Thanks very much.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you.